I work as a waitress at one of Miami's most expensive restaurants. Most nights I serve celebrities, CEOs, people who spend more on a single meal than I make in a week. 3 months ago, a man named Robert Mitchell walked in. When I saw the tattoo on his wrist, my heart stopped. It was identical to my mother's. The same one she never explained. When I asked about it, he dropped his wine glass and stared at me like I'd just brought someone back from the dead. I'll start with the hardest part. My mother is dying. Breast cancer stage 4 metastasized to her lymph nodes and liver. The doctors gave her a year. That was 3 months ago. My name is Mary, I'm 24 years old, and I work as a waitress at Ocean Prime to pay for the medical bills insurance won't cover. My mother, Sarah, worked her entire life as a housekeeper. 24 years cleaning homes in Miami Beach and Coral Gables, rich people's homes. She never complained, never asked for help. Just worked 6 days a week, sometimes 7. Now she can't work anymore. He's too weak, too sick. So I work. I take double shifts whenever I can. Lunch and dinner, and when they need me, even breakfast service. On a good night, I take home maybe $400 in tips. It's not enough, but it's all I have. It was a Friday night in late October. The restaurant was packed, every table full. I was on my 8th hour, feet aching, smile fixed in place. Just 3 more hours until I could go home. That's when Marcus, the floor manager, pulled me aside. Mary, table 12. VIP guest. He requested privacy and the best service we have. That's you. Who is it? Robert Mitchell. I knew the name. Everyone did. Tech entrepreneur, self-made millionaire worth $10 million. Built everything from nothing. He's dining alone? Asked surprised. Apparently requested the corner table. No fuss, just good service. Got it. I grabbed a water pitcher and walked to table 12. Robert Mitchell sat with his back to the wall. Mid-40s maybe. Dark hair starting to gray at the temples. Well-dressed but not flashy. Navy suit, no tie. He was looking at something on his phone. He looked sad. That was the word that came to mind. Said, "Good evening, sir. My name is Mary and I'll be taking care of you tonight. Can I start you with something to drink?" He looked up. Tired eyes, deep set. Red wine. Whatever you recommend. The Malbec is excellent. That's fine. I poured water, set down bread. He barely noticed. Just stared out the window at the Miami skyline, the lights reflecting off Biscayne Bay. Rich people dining alone always made me sad. You have everything, but you're sitting in an expensive restaurant by yourself on a Friday night. What's the point? I brought the wine, took his order. Filet mignon, medium rare, grilled vegetables. Simple. Thank you, he said quietly. I'll have that out shortly. I turned to leave. That's when I saw it. His left hand resting on the table, and as his sleeve pulled back slightly, a tattoo became visible. Small, delicate. A red rose with thorns twisted into the shape of an infinity symbol. My breath caught. I knew that I'd seen my mother's left wrist every single day of my life. When she cooked, when she brushed my hair as a child, when she hugged me, when she reached across the table toward me. The tattoo was always there. A red rose, thorns forming an infinity symbol. Faded now, the red not as bright as it must have been once, but still visible. I asked her about it when I was 7. Mom, what does that mean? It's from a long time ago, sweetie. Before you were born. But what does it mean? It means love is beautiful, but it hurts. And it lasts forever. Did you love someone? I love you. Someone else. She smiled sadly. Once. Yes. A long time ago. My dad? He's gone. So, now go play. She never talked about it again. Every time I asked, she'd change the subject. Eventually I stopped asking. But I never stopped wondering. And now there in that restaurant, a businessman I'd never seen before had the exact same tattoo. Same design, same wrist. What were the odds? I stood there, frozen, staring at his wrist. He noticed. Is something wrong? I'm sorry. I shouldn't say anything. It's not professional, but I couldn't help it. This is going to sound strange, but my mother has a tattoo exactly like that. Same rose, same thorns, same wrist. Robert Mitchell went completely still. His wine glass halfway to his lips froze in midair. What did you say? My mother. She has that exact tattoo. I've asked her about it my entire life. She never tells me what it means. Just says it's from before I was born. What? His voice came out hoarse. He cleared his throat. What is your mother's name? Sarah. Sarah Cooper. Why do you? The wine glass slipped from his hand. It hit the table, shattered. red wine spreading across the white tablecloth like blood. Sarah, he whispered. I grabbed napkins, started cleaning up the wine. I'm so sorry. Let me get you another glass. How old are you? He wasn't looking at the mess. He was staring at me like he was seeing a ghost. I'm 24, sir. Are you okay? 24. He was doing math in his head. Where is she? Where's Sarah? She's in the hospital. She's sick, sir. Do you know my mother? He stood up abruptly, pulled out his wallet, threw $500 bills on the table. I have to go. I'm sorry. Wait, your food? Keep the money. I have to go. And he left. Just like that. Out the door, leaving me standing there with a shattered wine glass, $500, and absolutely no idea what had just happened. I texted my mother that night when I got home. 2 a.m. Me, Mom, do you know someone named Robert Mitchell? No response. She was probably asleep. The medication made her sleep a lot. I googled Robert Mitchell on my phone. Dozens of articles came up. Forbes profiles, TechCrunch interviews, photos of him at conferences, galas, charity events. Always alone. I noticed that. Never with a date. Never with a wife. The articles mentioned it too. Tech's most eligible bachelor. Why hasn't Robert Mitchell settled down? One article from 5 years ago quoted him. I was in love once. A long time ago. It didn't work out. I've never found that again. I stared at the tattoo visible in one of the photos. The rose, the thorns, the infinity. What happened between him and my mother? The next morning I went to the hospital. Saturday visiting hours started at 10 a.m. My mother was in room 407, 4th floor, oncology wing. She was awake, sitting up in bed. Bald from chemotherapy, thin and 4 in her arm. But she smiled when she saw me. Mary, you didn't have to come so early. I always come on Saturdays, Mom. I kissed her forehead, sat in the chair next to her bed. How are you feeling? Tired but okay. The new medication helps with the nausea. It's good. We talked about small things. Her treatment, the nurses, the terrible hospital food. Then I said as casually as I could, Mom, do you know someone named Robert Mitchell? She went very still. Why are you asking that name? He came into the restaurant last night. He has a tattoo on his wrist exactly like yours. The color drained from her face. Robert was there? At your restaurant? You do know him. He's famous, you know. Mary, where is he now? I don't know. He left. He saw me, asked your name, and when I said Sarah Cooper, he left. Mom, who is he? He was crying. Tears streaming down her face. He found me. After all these years, he found me. Mom, what are you talking about? I knew him as Robert Mitchell, but he was just Robert back then. We were in love. 25 years ago, before you were born. What happened? I had to go back to North Carolina. My grandmother was dying. I promised I'd come back in 6 months. I tried, but when I came back, he was gone. I looked for him everywhere. I thought he'd forgotten about me. Moved on. She touched her left wrist, the faded rose. We got them together the week before I left. He said, even when we're apart, we'll have this. Proof that we existed, that what we had was real. I didn't know what to say. I need to see him, Mary. Please. I don't have his number. I don't know how to reach him. You said he's famous now. There must be a way. Please, sweetheart. I don't have much time left. I need him to know I never forgot. I called the restaurant. Asked Marcus if Robert Mitchell had left any contact information. No, but Mary, someone's here asking for you. Who? He says his name is David Chin. He's Robert Mitchell's attorney. He wants to talk to you. I'm at the hospital. Can he come here? Hold on. Muffled conversation. He says he'll be there in 30 minutes. David Chin arrived exactly 30 minutes later. 50s gray suit, kind face. He introduced himself in the hospital cafeteria. Miss Cooper, I represent Robert Mitchell. He asked me to find you. To ask about your mother. Is he okay? He seemed upset when he left last night. He's been upset for 25 years. Last night was the first time he had hope. David pulled out a tablet. Can you tell me about your mother? Her full name, her medical condition, everything. I told him. Sarah Cooper, 48 years old, breast cancer stage 4, Jackson Memorial Hospital, room 407. Prognosis less than a year. David typed notes. And you said she knows Robert? She says they were in love 25 years ago. He had to go back to North Carolina. When she returned, he was gone. She thought he'd moved on. He didn't move on. He spent 5 years looking for her. Couldn't find her. He thought she'd stayed in North Carolina, that she'd chosen to stay with her family. They both thought the other gave up. Exactly. David closed the tablet. Robert wants to see her. With your permission. He wants to see him too. No. Today. As soon as possible. She's dying, Mr. Chin. She doesn't have time to wait. Understood. I'll bring him this afternoon. 3 hours later, there was a knock on the door of room 407. I opened it. Robert Mitchell stood there. Same navy suit from last night, but his face looked different. Older, more tired, nervous. She's awake. She knows you're coming. But Robert? Just Robert, please. Robert, she's very sick. She looks different than you remember. Vimo. I don't care. I just need to see her. I stepped aside. He walked past me into the room. And there was my mother. Sitting up in bed, bald, thin, fur in her arm. But when she saw him, her face lit up. 25 years melted away. For a moment she looked young again. Robert. Sir. He crossed the room, sat in the chair next to her bed, took her hand. Ran his fingers over her rose tattoo. They stared at each other, not speaking. Just looking. Then they both started crying. I sat in the hallway outside room 47 for 2 hours. Through the door I could hear muffled voices. Sometimes crying, sometimes silence, sometimes what sounded like laughter through tears. What were they talking about? I checked my phone, scrolled through social media without really seeing anything. Tried to give them privacy, tried not to listen. But I was dying to know. Finally, after exactly 2 hours and 12 minutes, the door opened. Robert stepped out. His face was pale, eyes swollen and red. He looked like someone had just told him the world was ending. Is she okay? I stood up quickly. My mother? She's fine. He stopped. Looked at me. And something in his expression made my stomach drop. He was staring at me. Really staring, like he'd never seen me before. Robert, what's wrong? Mary, I need to talk to you. Right now. Can we go somewhere private? Sure. The cafeteria? Yes, that works. We walked to the cafeteria in complete silence. The kind of silence that makes your heart pound. Something had happened in that room. Something big. We bought coffee. Neither of us drank it. Sat at a corner table under flickering fluorescent lights. Robert couldn't stop staring at me. His hands were shaking. You're scaring me, I said. What did my mother tell you? Mary. His voice was hoarse. When is your birthday? What? Your birthday. When is it? March 15th. What year? 2000. Robert, what's going on? He closed his eyes, took a deep breath. When he opened them again, there were tears. Your mother just told me something. Something she's kept hidden for 24 years. My stomach twisted. What? When she went to North Carolina in 1999, she didn't know she was pregnant. She found out about a month after she arrived. In August. The world seemed to tilt. Pregnant with you. He was pregnant with you. I couldn't speak, couldn't breathe. She came back to Miami in January 2000. 7 months pregnant. She went to my old apartment. I'd moved in December. She looked for me for 2 weeks. Couldn't find me. And then his voice broke. March 15th, 2000. You were born at this hospital. And she was completely alone. Are you saying that? I couldn't finish the sentence. I'm saying we think I'm your father. The cafeteria disappeared. Everything disappeared except his words echoing in my head. We think I'm your father. Oh. I shook my head. Oh. My mother said my father was someone from North Carolina. She said that because she couldn't find me. She thought I'd moved on. Forgotten her. But I was here, Mary. In Miami. For 24 years. Looking for her. Looking for both of you. I just didn't know you existed. 2 years have passed since that night at the restaurant. My mother is still alive. The cancer is still there but stable, controlled. She goes to Jackson Memorial once a month for treatment. The rest of the time she lives. Really lives. She and Robert got married 6 months after that reunion. Simple ceremony in the hospital chapel. Just me, David, Dr. Martinez, and a few nurses who'd cared for her. My mother wore a simple white dress. Robert wore a suit. They promised forever to each other. This time it was true. They bought a house in Key Biscayne facing the ocean. My mother always wanted to live by the water. They travel when she's strong enough. North Carolina, places they left behind decades ago. I finished my degree at University of Miami, graduated last spring. The DNA test confirmed it. Robert is my father. 99.9% certainty. Last week I had dinner at their house in Key Biscayne. We sat on the terrace watching the sunset over the Atlantic, drinking wine, talking about nothing important. At one point I noticed my mother and Robert holding hands. Both left hands intertwined. The tattoos were visible. 2 roses, 2 sets of thorns, 2 infinity symbols. Faded now, 27 years old, but still there. Love is beautiful, but it hurts, my mother said softly. And it lasts forever. Forever, Robert agreed. They didn't get a fairy tale. My mother is still sick. The cancer will probably take her eventually. But not today. Not yet. Today they're holding hands, matching tattoos visible in the golden light of the setting sun. Today they have forever. However long forever turns out to be. This is my story of triumph. Do you think I handled it correctly? If you were in my shoes, what would you have done? Share your thoughts in the comments. I can't wait to hear your perspective. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to Memorable Stories and Overcoming, where we share inspiring stories of triumph and justice every single day.